Hello everyone. Um, Today's lecture would be on Doris Lessing's most famous work, The Golden Notebook. Before moving on with our lecture, I would request you all to please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed to it, so that you can receive the content as soon as I upload it. Now, moving on with our lecture, uh, The Golden Notebook was published in the year 1962. It is a very unique novel in the sense that in this novel, Doris Lessing deliberately tried to create something new. She experimented with form, and it is an example of an avant garde novel, a postmodernist novel. Uh, it is a very complex novel with multiple strands, and it is certainly not fit for pleasure reading. It is mixture of many things, many ideologies, and to that extent, it requires a cerebral uh, analysis, and it requires some patience on the part of the readers. Uh, this novel was included in Time magazine's list of top 100 novels since 1923, and that is why this novel is considered as a modern day masterpiece. Uh, Now, we will structure our discussion into certain parts. We'll first discuss the structure of the novel, which will also focus upon the plot of the novel. We'll also then discuss something on the theme, and finally we'll see what is Doris Lessing's message in this novel. Now, moving on with our discussion of the plot and structure of the novel, it is very necessary for us to understand that this novel has two strands. One strand is about the protagonist's personal life in the present, and the other strand is about the life that she has lived in the past or she wishes to live in the future. Uh, the plot centers around a female protagonist. Her name is Anna Freeman Wolfe, or Anna Wolfe. Uh, Anna was actually married to a man called Max Wolfe, and she has a daughter called whose name is Janet Wolfe. Now Anna has separated from her husband and is living as a single mother. Anna's past life saw her relationship with another man called Michael, and at present she is in a relationship with a fellow writer whose name is Saul Green. Anna has a friend. Her name is Molly Jacobs. Molly is married to Richard, and Molly has a son called Tommy. These are the major characters of the novel. This is the first strand in which the novelist talks about Anna Wolfe. She is suffering from a nervous breakdown. She undergoes psychoanalysis, and she reflects upon her past life as well as present life and her hopes for future. Now, this strand of the novel is discussed uh, as a novella, a short novel in fragments that is termed as Free Women. And the theme of this novella is basically about women's liberation movement that was in vogue in the 60s. As you know, it was the time of the second wave of feminism, and that is a reflection on this part is a reflection on the second wave feminism also. Uh, then the second strand of the novel consists of the various notebooks that Anna Wolf keeps. She's a writer and she maintains four notebooks. The first notebook is the Black Notebook, which talks about her, which is about her life in Africa, her relationship with Michael, and her experiences of war. Then the second notebook is the Red Notebook. The Red Notebook talks about Anna Wolf's fascination with Marxism, with communism, and later on, it also shows her disillusionment with the policies of Stalin in Russia and her resignation from the membership of the Communist Party of Britain, of which she was a member. Then we have the Yellow Notebook. In the Yellow Notebook, Anna Wolf uh, maintains her record as a writer. She writes drafts of her novel, upcoming one. That novel has characters like Ella, who is an alter ego for Anna, and a character called Julia, who is a veiled account of Molly's character. So, the Yellow Notebook, in fact, is a novel within a novel. You can understand it this way. Doris Lessings wrote a novel, The Golden Notebook, in which Lessings' alter ego is Anna Wolf, and Anna Wolf writes a novel in her Yellow Notebook which has a character called Ella, and Ella is an alter ego of Anna. So, this is a novel within a novel, and here we get a glimpse of what we may call metafiction, the reflection upon the art itself, the art of writing. Then we have the fourth notebook, that is the Blue Notebook. In the Blue Notebook, Anna uh, records her personal feelings, her relationships in the past, her relationships in the present, her aspirations, her relationship with her daughter, her role as a mother, and all the various other personal things. So, this is the four notebooks which form the second strand of the novel. So, the Free Women can be regarded as the skeleton, and the four notebooks provide it with flesh and blood to give the novel its form. Now, there is then the Golden Notebook. What is the Golden Notebook? As I've already told you, that Anna is suffering from mental breakdown, and the Golden Notebook is her attempt to unify her experiences, to defragmentize her life, to unite it. And for this, she will have to gather fragments from all the notebooks, and that will form the part of the Golden Notebook. And a very important fact I would tell you, that Saul Green, who is the current love interest of Anna, helps her complete the Golden Notebook. So this is about the overall structure of this novel. Now we'll see what the theme around we'll see as to what are the main themes of this novel. Uh, as the novelist herself has conceded, fragmentariness is the central theme, which is manifest in the narrative technique of the novel. There are various overlappings. There is absolutely no chronology. Uh, Things are fragmentary, and this reflects the overall experience of Anna Wolf. Uh, then we have themes of ideology, we have feminism, we have uh, communism, and the Anna Wolf's critique of these ideologies. Uh, Anna Wolf finds feminism as flawed, which is also Doris Lessing's view, because second wave of feminism was about radical feminism, and Anna Wolf, as well as Doris Lessing herself, believes that feminism cannot uh, be regarded as an ideology in isolation. You cannot have an ideology where you will exclude all the men uh, from your scheme of things. So this is why Anna Wolf as well as Doris Lessing are against this strain of feminism. Then it also uh, it talks about the failure of communism. Uh, Initially, the world was enamored with the idea of a communist takeover, but as an when Stalin's policies became clear and it was um understood that he had ushered in a reign of terror in USSR, it led to widespread disillusionment. And it led to the disillusionment of Anna. And as the novel is autobiographical in its character, we can also understand that Doris Lessing herself was also disillusioned with the communist policies. Uh, in the another aspect, we find that this novel is about creativity, the overall process of creativity. We find Anna Wolf as a writer struggling with the writer's block, who want her to write a particular kind of novel in a certain way, against which she revolts. And this is seen also in the structure of the Golden Notebook. As I've said, it is we can regard it as um, a meta text also. Then we have the theme of what Bakhtin would call a chronotope. It means that space and time are intricately uh, related, and this novel also uh, takes multiple views of one particular event and analyzes it in such a manner that time and space in which that event had occurred becomes very important. So these are some of the themes around which this novel, The Golden Notebook, has been woven. It talks about other things like motherhood. It talks about things like marriage. It talks about things like female bonding. So all these things form a part of the very complex structure that this novel has. Uh, In the Golden Notebook, in the conclusion part of the Golden Notebook, we see that Saul Green completes this defragmentation, as it were, of Anna Wolf's life. Uh, so, this is the overall message that Doris Lessing wants to convey, that our own experience of fragmentariness is not going to get solved on its own. We need people in our lives to defragment our life, to understand our lives. We cannot see ourselves in isolation. There is not a thing as that a complete um, alienation from society. As a person, you have to live in the society, you have to interact with people, and here is the constructive message that Doris Lessing wants to give, and that is, if we want to uh, create meaning out of our lives, we need to pay attention to our relationships, our consciousness, our language. All these things cannot uh, communicate in its entirety what our experience as an individual is. But we can find fulfillment in our relationships, in our interaction with society, in our interaction with the other gender. So, this is an overall analysis of the Golden Notebook. I would urge all the students to read the novel. It is a very challenging novel, I must add. But then it is the essence of postmodernism. It is not a very simple literary movement. It is a very contemporary and a very ideologically oriented uh, literary movement. And if the students are to appreciate postmodernism in its true sense, they would do well to start with this novel, that is the Golden Notebook. Uh, so, this is all we would discuss today. I once again request you all to please subscribe to my channel, and let me know what thoughts you have in the comment section. Okay, thank you.